So I'll use a seven-sided shape so that you can see us going from a fairly complicated polygon to a very simple one. And then from the simple one, we already have a formula or we already have a method to transform it into a rectangle and then from thence into a square in previous videos, which I'll link in the description. So we start off with this line, which will be one side of our final shape and also one side of our initial shape. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Draw 7 sides. And the way that we'll do this is a repetitive process where we look to either of these sides on the edge and we look to the sticky out bits. And we want to get rid of these sticky out bits and make a new shape where the area is the same, but the bit that's sticking out has been replaced with just a smooth line all the way down to the bottom. And the way that we do that is by connecting up the points behind this jutting out bit and then drawing a parallel line to our line doing that down to the bottom. And then we connect the point where this line hits here to this point up here. And we do that repetitively. So I'll do it on the other side as well. Got this line here. This line here. They're parallel. And we shave this sticking out bit off with this new line. Not perfectly drawn, but I think you get the idea. And then we'll do the same thing here. Connect down to here. Draw a parallel line. And then chop off this sticky out bit. And then, yeah, I guess we could do it on this side as well again. Go from here to here. Go from here down. And then make a new line like this. And then if you've noticed, we've actually made a triangle. And this triangle can be converted by the methods that we looked at in previous videos to first a rectangle, like this, and then with a bit more work into a square up in this corner. So use a new and slightly less complicated shape to show why our system works. I'll just try a pentagon. And yeah, I'll use this side here. So if we think about what we're doing, we're making a trapezoid because we're making a shape that has parallel lines as two of its sides and non-parallel lines as the other two. So if we were to just rotate this on its side, we'd have a shape that looks something like this. And what we're really doing is we're removing this area from our original shape, and we're taking it and we're plonking it down here. So for this to work, for the original shape, which was a pentagon, to morph into this new shape, this quadrilateral, and not lose or gain any size, then the bit we take off has to be the same size as the bit that we've tacked on. This has to be the same size as this. Or having rotated this object by 90 degrees, this bit has to be the same size as this bit. Now, how do we know that this is true? This is true because triangles have an area that's half base times height. And we can actually see that this triangle is part of this larger triangle, and this triangle is part of this larger triangle. And then they have a bit overlapping. So we'll call this triangle 1. We'll call this triangle number 2. And when I say that, I'm referring to this whole bit and this whole bit. And the shaded area we could call, I'll just do shade 1 and then shade 2. So that's this area here and this area here. Hopefully that's clear enough. So what we notice about the areas of this triangle 1 and this triangle 2 is that triangle 1 is going to have an area of a half of this line here. So I'll just draw that for that line, times the distance from here to here. And triangle number 2 is going to have an area that's a half of this line. So the same line, the small line down the bottom, times a half of the distance between these two. So the same distance that's in the formula for the size of triangle 1. And then the areas of shaded area 1 and shaded area 2 are going to be this whole thing minus this bit. And the area of shaded area 2 is going to be, so the area of shaded area 2 is going to be the area of this bit minus this small bit. So these areas are actually the same. So then from there, after we performed all these operations, we get ourselves down to just a triangle, rectangle, and then to a square.